Hey guys, how's everyone going? So, for today's shenanigans, we are going to get stuck back into this tractor engine. Well, it's actually just following on from the last video. I haven't left, but that one was getting a bit long, so we need to break it all up a bit, and what an easier way to do it than, yeah, just start on the next video. So, pop you guys there. Actually, that's probably a bit far away. Something like that, maybe. So yeah, we've got to do the rear crank seal, and yeah, put the crank in, which should be all achievable today, and then we'll be on to liners and whatnot. So here's our nicely oiled crank seal. Now I've had problems with these. These can be very problemsome items. Now this one goes in well. I did one, nearly fell out of the container. Did the one for the power major engine I did, and for the love of money it would not go in like that. It was too thick. It just wouldn't go down in the groove, and just, you know, was a nightmare. I just put the original one back in it. It looked okay, and touch wood, it's been fine. It hasn't had an issue. So that one needs to get kept aside for the sump. The sump still hasn't been cleaned or nothing, so there's no point doing that. Yeah, so that fitted quite nicely. I know you can buy tools for, come here, for some engines and stuff, like a nice little chock that sits in there and you drive it in with a hammer. But yeah, that looks alright. We'll see what spooges out when the crank goes in. Get rid of that. A bit of something. Alright, so that's in, and it's nearly, like, you need a little bit of stick up for squash so it all seals, otherwise it just doesn't seal. I do have to really read up on exact specifications for them, because yeah, if you get it wrong it'll just hose oil out like nothing else, and yeah, I don't want that. So I'll have to do some reading tonight on exactly how much stick out length you should have, and you know, all that sort of lovely stuff, but that doesn't matter for today. So I'll get set up with some bearings and a crank and all the fun stuff, and I'll bring you guys back. Alright, I am back. Now, I've gone and brake cleaned all the journals. The crank sitting over there, I've brake cleaned that. Make sure there's no schmoo. Got our main bearings, which are Denmark, UK, whoever they are. And they're 010, so I suppose it's 10 thou. Being Imperials, yeah, it'll be 10 thou, I would assume. There's some information if you want to look at it. Next question, where do I put the razor blade? Oh, there it is. Now, without scoring the actual bearing, I need to get these out of here. Interesting to see if there's any other maker's marks, because that company wouldn't actually make these, surely not. Make sure we give these a good clean. There's one thing I am very stringent about: cleaning these up. Now it just says GS8292SA 010. So, yep, doesn't say who makes them, but that doesn't matter. Sits in there nicely. They don't, if they drop straight in, like just fall in, you've got problems. They should have a bit of tension on them. Now I need to get that bloody razor blade out of there that I just dropped before I forget about it. Damn it. Come here. Bloody thing. I'm coating it in assembly grease here doing this. So don't think I've got it. Oh, actually no, I do have a magnet. I do have one, I think, maybe. I'm lucky. Yes, I do. That's better. There. You. There you go, that won't even stick to the wall of the container. That's not a very good magnet. Anywho, yeah, let's move along. Yeah, I don't like any oil or lubricant on the back side of these shells. I don't think it really matters that much, but the only thing really stopping these from spinning is a bit of tension outwards and that little tang. That's all it is. So if there's no lubricant behind there, it'll make it grip a bit better onto the actual casting. A lot of people say it won't really matter, but it probably doesn't. But, you know, every little bit counts. Now the wide ones, okay, no, there's two sets of wide ones. So these are all for our small shells. And we get the wider ones out, which should be at least. They seem like a nice bearing. I don't have any judgments about the quality of them. They look quite well made. Compared to other brand name ones I bought, they don't look any worse or better, or they seem quite well made. And lucky last. Alright, now more assembly loop. That's why they sell them in the big tubes. If you do a couple of motors, you'll chew through this pretty quick. And I'm pretty zealous with it. I don't mind using a bit of it. Probably using about double what I need, but as I said, motors aren't cheap to do twice. And this tube of assembly lube is probably one of the cheapest items in this in this build. Even like the oil and the filter's probably a similar price, but yeah, it's not expensive. All right. Silly me, I should put another pair of gloves on, but I didn't. I'll get that up there a bit more. Alright, now you get this really heavy crankshaft in there. Make sure we got that all up the sides. It will just spooge it out, but you don't want to have a dry spot. You probably won't. By the time it spooges out and you rock it a bit, it'll get everything, but you know, I like to just be safe. Alright, this is going to be heavy. Hold on, before I get too carried away. Sit that there. Before I get too carried away. Oh. No, I can turn them in later. I'm thinking about the thrust washers on here, but there is a tang to stop them spinning, but it's on the cap, so you should be able to spin them in with the crank in, instead of trying to glue them in there. But if not, I can soon lift this back out again. That's got a bit of weight in it. Alright, so we've got thrust washers here. 7066 Agriline. How are we going for time? And we're running out of battery. Pretty quick smart. So we'll open these up and I'll probably have to change the battery. That. Nearly everything most things I've bought, they're all double packaged. So that says to me that they're not made by the company you're buying them off. So see, they're, let's get rid of. See the difference? So top ones, bottom ones. So you should be able to spin those in with the crankshaft in. Alright, I'll change this battery and I'll bring you back. Alright, back again. Now where was I? Thrust washers. I cleaned up all the caps and whatnot, so they're pretty much ready to go, but I found something very interesting. So I'll show you in a sec. That isn't the end of the world, but makes things a bit annoying. So if I sit that on there, I should be able to twirl that in around to there. Now if I pull that crank forward, I should be able to do the same with the other one. Did I put that washer in around the right way? I've got a sneaky suspicion I actually didn't. I'll use this one. Push that back. Nope. Wrong way around. If I put that one on there, so that one there, just exchange it for that one. Yeah, so the wearing side's supposed to face the crank, not the block. So it's supposed to go that way. Double check that. That's silver side. Yes, it's silver side. So it's one of those things you've always got to be mindful what you're doing and just double check, be methodical, because it's easy enough to make a boo-boo. And that would just absolutely ruin the crankshaft. And this crankshaft is quite good, so I don't want to do that. And it cost me a lot of money to have it all fixed up. That seems quite nice. I don't know if I'm going to bother going through and checking all the tolerances, but I probably should. So, but yeah, one of those things we'll get. I'll check one main journal, I'll check one big end. That's about as far as I go, and I'll check the end float. So I'm not just, yeah, it's all been machined and it should be all right, but that'll be a good double check. If one's right, you're pretty safe to say they're all right. The main issue I've seen, there's a H on the crankshaft there. I don't think that was on there before. Anyway, that's probably from the machine shop. Yeah, the main issue I've seen with crankshafts is it'll be like 10 thou and 20 thou, and what they'll do, they'll get the numbers around the wrong way. So the crank will be right, but then they'll order the bearings the opposite way around, and you put it all together and it doesn't turn. That tends to be the biggest mistake I see with engines and stuff like that. Now, we need to work out, so that's centre, that's rear. I might start with the centre one. Now, idiot here should have sent these away with the crank, well, not with the block, but I didn't, so I've had to clean these up. I've had to clean these up by hand, so you know, would have saved me a lot of effort if I just sent them away. So that's why they might look not quite as nice as the block, because they didn't get the same treatment as the block. Make sure those are nice and clean. So the bearing fits nicely in there. And now if you look at this, you can see there's a notch for our thrust washers, so that'll drop into there, and that'll stop the whole thing from spinning around on us. So we'll add some lubrication to this. So I won't check this one, I'll check one of the easier ones to check. And on that side. I might nearly have to buy another one of these. This has done a couple of motors, this one, so this upper engine bloody lubricant. Well, lower engine, you know what I mean, engine assembly lubricant. That one's getting a bit low, but I reckon it'll see us out for this job, I would say. Now, the rule of thumb with these is the little tang that stops it from spinning, and the little tang that stops the other cap from, like, each side from spinning. They go together. A lot of them will have arrows and, you know, stuff like that, but if you always remember that, you're fairly right. That'll be quite snug, so I might have to. Get a bit of tappy tap. So, what size these are going to be. She's just a bit snug. Before I get too carried away with that, I'd better lubricate them and we'll run them down. Oh, don't mind me. Some engine oil I prepared earlier. Because they have that little shoulder, they don't just sort of sit on the block, they press down into a little bit of a recess. So they're very snug. And I don't have any more locking tabs for them, so we're just going to roll with these. One of them is broken. One of these is snapped off. I've got spares, so oh, that's fine, I'll just use one of the spares. They're different sizes. The bolts in this are bigger than the spare ones I've got. So yeah, that's a bummer. So I might have to die grind the hole out or file it out or something. But I'll leave that till, we'll probably check this one with the plastic gauge and we'll leave that one till next time. And I'll work something out with that. Yeah, I'll probably take it to work and give it a whiz with the die grinder and just get it out, because it's not much. Nope. Yeah, I thought that was interesting. Oh, that's metric, that's why. Where's the Imperial stuff? Other side. There we go. Yeah, so I thought that was interesting because those locking tabs I've got, they're out of the original engine from the Power Major tractor. From the original, the Power Major I mowed the grass with. The original one's out of that, so that's interesting because that was a 59 engine and this is a 63. Very early 63, I think. So this, well, no, both this engine and the tractor it's going in, both missed out on being a new performance by like months. So obviously they've changed stuff. But if I read all the manuals, I would know this. But I haven't read the manuals. Ooh, that's a bit tight. Why is that a bit tight? That should not be tight. Oh no. Oh no, that's right. It's just heavy. I thought it locked up. I was going to think, oh god, here we go. But no, it's just because the crank weighs a bloody heap. And these motors are quite, because it's so big, there's big wide journals, there's a lot of drag, especially when they're all perfect. I found that with the other engine. I was quite surprised at how much heave-hoeing it took to get the thing around. But it's fine, it's just, a fresh engine. And quite a heavy one at that. I'm running out of, memory. We've got a bit to go, so. Get rid of these for a moment. Which one's which? So they all have numbers and bibs and bobs on them. So rear would be rear. 2. So we've got one. Let's have a look. We've got 4. So it's got 4 on it. So this would be 1, 2, 3. So that should be 4. That's rear. That's 2, yeah. And because front's a different one again. Right. Well, let's start with the only one I didn't bring. Let's start with front. Front has a different locking tab system on it too. I don't know if it really makes much difference, but yeah, they have this style with little ones. So get them out of the way, get this all wipe down, make sure there's no schmoo on it. Grab ourselves a bearing, lay that in there. Put some slippery stuff on it and put her in. Now, if you're not sure about bearing placement on these, there is a few things you can do to help yourself. And most engines are the same. This one's different, that one's different, and that one's different. So the front one has this mounting flange for the front plate. So we'll stick that back in. So you know which way, that can only go one way, so that ties that one up. Rear on this has rear on it, but it's a bit wider. The middle one, of course, is a bit wider, and it has the tangs for your locking, for your thrust washer. So that's, you've only got 2 that you can, you know, don't know which way they go. And one has 2 on it, one has 4 on it. So this is pretty easy. Some engines aren't that easy, so you've got to be real careful when you pull them apart, you check everything. But these are good, these are quite alright. But yeah, the biggest thing is check it before you pull it apart. Don't just assume it's all hunky-dory, because it probably won't be. And if it does not have anything on it, you can just put some centre punch marks, you know, down the side here where you can't see, punch the block and punch the cap to match, and then you'll be fine. I think I do have the rattle gun here, but it's just, no, it's a bit like a ball in a china shop with this sort of stuff. You want to be able to feel what you're doing. Should be. Every time you put one of these caps on, this thing's going to get a little bit heavier. Alright, I'm going to leave 2, so we'll jump up to number 4. Yeah, I missed a bit of schmoo on this one. That's alright, I'll get it off now. As long as there's nowhere that's important, it doesn't really matter too much. Should use this bit rag, I think it's a bit cleaner. Oh, I'm so glad to see this thing going back together. It's been apart too long. But the next big drama will be, well, I've got to pull the tractor up, pull the engine out, pull the front end out. Yeah, it needs hydraulics looking at in the back of it, it needs axle seals. So I can't just sort of clean and blow paint on the back end. That needs to come apart to a degree. I'm still arming and ahhing how far. Do we pull the whole thing to pieces and, you know, check the whole lot out, or because Fordsons aren't really renowned for having major back end problems. They're usually pretty good. It's hydraulics, and that's usually about it. So yeah, I don't know. So we'll double check 4. Make sure the tangs are on the same side. Set that down. Grab our ratchet and get a locking tab for it. This one looks okay. A bit of oil then. Yeah. Correct, was it? Of course I left the cap there. Yeah, no, that's right. Just had one of those moments where I'm like, did I get that round the right way? So this is the thing, you always have to check. Yeah, tangs on it, yeah, that's right. So yeah, so that's your hole for your oil pickup tube. That's the only one that has one. Just a bit of wiggle. And none of these are actually torqued, they're just done up. Yeah, that'll go that way. Yeah. She's definitely not loosey-goosey, this engine, I can tell you that much. But that's, yeah, she's quite firm, that's how she should be, because she's essentially new. Oh, old knees aren't liking this up and down, up and down, up and down. I'll tell you that much. Dirt on there. Tangs are on that side, set that one to that one. always don't like when they move like that, or you have to move them. Yeah, a lot of the time the shell comes off. It should self-center and be fine, but you just don't know. So really goes in that way. You should do it more like this. Put the cap all on, locate it with the bolts. Alrighty, wind this down, and I reckon that'll be about the end of that battery. Battery, not the battery. The memory card. There we go, up here. Ooh, yeah, she's got 48 seconds to go. Hold on, I'll switch her out and I'll bring you back. Alright, back again. Got a fresh memory card and camera, so we're all good to go for, yeah. But we're going to wrap up the video here, because it's getting long enough as it is. So, yeah. Next time we'll put this last cap on, plastic gauge it. Yeah, I'll have to get the specs and stuff, and we'll torque all these caps down, fold all locks over. They're a little bit rough, but you know, they'll go again. I'm not, you know, not that fussed by it. It'd be nice to have new ones, but you know, yeah, I've never seen them for sale, and I'm sure as hell not making them. But yeah, I need to take the one for, actually, that's what I'll show you before I go. Oh. Where are we? Alright. So yeah, that's our broken one. Just had a hard life. Here's a couple of replacements, but yeah, the bolt holes are different size. It nearly fits, but just not quite. So it needs a bit of a touch with the die grinder, I think. Fomoco, or is it no, Info, sorry. Yeah, so that's a bummer, but now what can you do about it? So hopefully we'll get punch out another video on this, maybe even tomorrow. I don't know, we'll see how we go. Because at that point I want to just keep rolling and get this, you know, get this thing done. Really get it done. There's still a few things, like I can start putting accessories on the outside as well. I've got bolts at home to hold down the liners, so I'll have to grab them, dig them out, and then we can check the liner protrusion. I think I've got some vernier. I've got a dial gauge there which you can use, but it's not really the best idea. But yeah, you can use feeler gauges and a straight edge. I've done that before, and that's, you know, that works out okay. So I might end up doing that. It's not the, you know, most accurate way, but it'll do. Yeah, that's about it. So I'll wrap this up here. So you guys all have fun, and yeah, like, share, subscribe, all the usual stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next one.